Welcome to today's Explainer. I'm so thrilled you're here with us because today we are tackling a giant that affects almost every single one of us at some point. We're going to figure out how to become the architects of our own action and finally, once and for all, defeat that pesky procrastination habit. Okay, let's dive into this because honestly, this isn't just about managing your calendar or your schedule. It is literally about reclaiming your entire life. I want you to be incredibly honest with yourself for just a second. How many dreams have you postponed? How many times have you caught yourself thinking, you know what, I'm just going to start tomorrow? It's a really comforting thought in the moment, right? It gives us this little hit of relief today while making a shiny promise about progress in the future. But, well, we all know exactly how that story usually ends. You see, tomorrow is an incredibly slippery slope. Psychologists actually call this temporal discounting. Basically, our brains are hardwired to naturally value immediate relief today, way more than massive abstract rewards way off in the future. So tomorrow effortlessly snowballs into next week. And before you even realize what's happening, boom, next week is quietly morphed right into next month. Suddenly, years have passed, and those dreams of yours, they're sitting exactly where they started. The hard truth we just have to face is that procrastination doesn't just steal your time, it actively steals your future. But today, we stop that cycle. We're using this blueprint right here. First, we'll uncover fear in disguise, then we'll shatter the perfect moment myth, utilize the 2-minute rule, learn about removing distractions, and finally wrap up with a tale of two paths. All right, part 1, fear in disguise, uncovering our hidden anxieties. Now, what's really interesting about this next concept is that it completely flips the script on what we think we know. Society loves to tell us that if you procrastinate, you must just be lazy. But that's just not true. Procrastination is actually fear wearing a mask. It's fear in disguise. When you delay taking action, you're experiencing what experts call an amygdala hijack. You're basically using a defense mechanism to protect yourself from a really uncomfortable emotion. You're shielding yourself from a perceived threat. But here's the trap, right? Instead of just taking action and dealing with it, you delay. And the longer you wait, the bigger and way more intimidating that fear becomes. Think about it. Is it the fear of failure that's keeping you stuck? Or, hey, perhaps it's actually the fear of success and how getting what you want might fundamentally change your life. Maybe it's the fear of criticism from other people, or just that paralyzing fear of making mistakes. Listen, if you recognize any of these in yourself, please know that you are not alone, and you absolutely aren't lazy. You're just dealing with hidden anxieties. And identifying them, that's the absolute first step to defeating them for good. Moving on to part 2, the perfect moment myth, waiting for the ideal. So once fear takes the wheel, we immediately start looking for justifications to stay safely parked exactly where we are. We wait for these so-called ideal conditions. Honestly, we've all used them. Oh, I'll start when I have more time. I'll start when I finally have a little bit more money saved up. Or I'll start when the stars align perfectly. They sound so incredibly logical in our heads, don't they? But they're a massive trap. Because the perfect moment, it simply doesn't exist. It's a total myth, practically designed by your own brain to keep you waiting forever. So the crucial point is this. Every highly successful person you look up to has the exact same 24 hours in their day that you do. The fundamental difference? They start before they feel ready. It's like LinkedIn founder Reid Hoffman famously said, if you are not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. You literally have to create progress out of imperfect conditions. You just got to start right where you are. Use exactly what you have today and just do what you can. Which brings us to part 3. The 2-minute rule, an actionable strategy. Let's pick up the pace a bit here because this is all about building momentum. To break out of that paralysis, we use a brilliant strategy popularized by productivity expert David Allen. It is super simple and totally relentless. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, you do it immediately. Stop overthinking it. Need to reply to that really short email? Do it. Need to organize those papers cluttering your desk? Do it. Need to write just the very first sentence of that big report? Just do it. These small, rapid actions completely shatter the glass of procrastination. The momentum begins the absolute second you start moving. Look, when you're facing a massive goal, whatever you do, don't look at the whole mountain. Staring at a giant project triggers instant overwhelm and basically makes your brain shut down. Instead, you want to use a technique called chunking. Make it actionable. Just tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to work on this for just 10 minutes. Focus entirely on the very next micro step. These small wins are absolutely crucial because they actually build the neural pathways of confidence that you need to create consistency and actually finish the job. All right, on to part 4, removing distractions. Protect your goals. Now, maintaining that newly found momentum requires some fierce focus. Distractions, they aren't just minor annoyances anymore. They are literally scientifically designed by tech companies to steal your attention. Did you know it takes an average of 23 minutes to completely refocus after just one single interruption? Crazy, right? You absolutely must create an environment that actively protects your goals. So turn off those push notifications. Put your phone physically away in another room. Close those 30 completely unnecessary browser tabs. Every single distraction you remove brings you one concrete step closer to your success. And this brilliantly illustrates one of the absolute biggest misconceptions we hold, believing that confidence somehow has to come first. Most people sit around thinking they need to feel super capable before they can even begin. But the truth? It's the exact opposite. Confidence follows action. The more you act, the more capable you become. You don't wait until you're confident to act. You actually become confident by taking the action. It's a real game changer once you realize that. Let's head into our final section, Part 5, A Tale of Two Paths, One Simple Decision. Now, I really want us to slow things down for a minute here. I want you to truly reflect on what this means for your own life. Imagine two people standing at the exact same starting line. They have the exact same resources, the same 24 hours in a day. Now, the person on the left looks at the big goal and says, "Nah, I'll begin tomorrow." But the person on the right, they decide to take just one tiny, small step today. Let's move forward and see how this builds over time. Days turn into months, and months inevitably roll right into years. The person who waited for tomorrow? Well, they're still exactly where they started. Still sketching out the perfect plan, still waiting for those stars to miraculously align. But the person who took that small step, they've learned new skills, they've built a rock-solid foundation, and they have completely changed the trajectory of their entire life. And honestly, here is the most important takeaway from this entire explainer. The difference between those two people? It wasn't innate talent, it wasn't genius, it certainly wasn't luck. The only difference was one simple, incredibly powerful decision: the willingness to just start. One small action today is worth more than 1,000 perfect plans. Just let that sink in for a second. Your future is out there right now, waiting for you. But it isn't waiting for some magically perfect, idealized version of you. No, it's waiting for the version of you right now, today, with all your flaws and all your fears, that simply decides to begin. Please do not let procrastination be the author of your story. You hold the pen. You have to write it yourself. So I'm going to leave you with this final lingering thought. Fast forward exactly 1 year from today. Look back at this very moment. Are you going to be the person who says, "Man, I'm so glad I started"? Or will you be the person who says, "I really wish I had"? The choice is entirely yours. Your future begins with one single decision. Don't wait for tomorrow. Take one action today, no matter how ridiculously small it seems. And once you take that action, be sure to join me for our next explainer, where we're going to uncover the 1% rule and discover how tiny daily improvements can create truly extraordinary, life-altering success. Start now. I'll see you then.